Hello, thank you guys for joining us tonight. My name is Amy Chow, and I'm the Training and Product Manager for Casio's Education Division, and I will be the presenter tonight. I also have with me Dr. Karen Greenhouse, our moderator, um, and I'll let her introduce herself in a little bit. But tonight we just wanted to talk about the Casio Cares campaign that we just launched recently, in light of everything that's going on in the world today and everything switching to remote learning. We wanted to share, all the resources that we have available for teachers and students. But before we start, I'm going to jump into my background a little bit, and then also let Karen introduce herself as well. So as I said, I am the Training and Product Manager for Casio's Education Division. I've been a math educator for the past 14 years, having taught high school mathematics when I was in the classroom. And right now I just work with educators around in the U.S. to help with training teachers and setting up conferences and just working with product development as well. Karen?
Okay. And I'm Karen Greenhouse, and I'm going to be your moderator for tonight. And just quick background, you can read what's in front of you, but I've been in education for about 30 years. Currently, I work with Drexel University in their online math master's program. And I've been working with Casio for about 6 years now, and I support Amy, help with the trainings, support teachers in lots of different ways, making videos and kind of helping everyone learn about the product. So as the moderator, I'm going to be kind of in the background here, and Amy's going to be doing the presentation. But if at any time you have a question, there's a chat panel, and so it might be a great idea now for you to pull that out. So if you kind of click down at the bottom of your things, you'll see the chat and open the chat, because that's how you're going to ask questions. We do keep you on mute just to keep the flow of things going. But if you have a question, make sure you type it in there, and I will be monitoring that, and I'll answer them if I can. And if I need to, I'll stop Amy and have her address something out loud. So that's how we're going to work this presentation. I'm going to hand it back to Amy to get going.
Thanks, Karen. All right, so I'm going to just jump in and go straight to the CasioEducation.com website. Apologize for that. So all you need to do is type in CasioEducation.com if this is the first time on our webpage, or if your cookies have kind of been reset. We'll ask you guys if you want to join our newsletter. This is a great way to show off like what we are doing, or just to keep learning about what we are doing.
Amy, there's a quick question. How often does the newsletter come out?
It comes out right now. I believe if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll also get access to our blog. And so we are doing, Karen actually is doing daily blogs with math lessons, with all our different products that we have to offer. So you'll get, a daily email from us right now. But typically it's maybe once a week, once every other week. It just depends on when we have information we want to share. So, we sent out an email about Casio Cares and learning more about that. We'll send out emails about, new products that are coming out that we're launching, or new activities that are out.
Upcoming webinars probably, right?
Upcoming webinars is a possibility. Yeah, is definitely an option as well. So, they're not going to be very frequent. So we're not going to, mass email you all the time. It's just to kind of let you be among the first to know about things that are going on with us. So fill in the email, and all we ask is just for your email address, and then you click the Join Now button, and then let's move on. So the first thing you see is our updated banner. We have our Casio Cares here, and so that's where you would go definitely to learn more. So we're going to click on that and then scroll down a little bit. And I just wanted to talk about briefly each of the different things we have to offer. So one amazing tool that we have is ClassPad.net. This is a tool that it's an online math software. It is free for teachers and students. It's really good for, we say it like upper elementary through college. It is a calculation tool that allows you to calculate, graph, and do geometry and statistics all in one spot. And we already have a bunch of other webinars and a bunch of other videos on our YouTube site. that talks about this, so I'm not going to dive deep into this. But right now, if you create a new account, you have access to our Plus suite, which includes access to computer algebra system and advanced statistics calculations, as well as our handwriting recognition. And that is available through August 31st.
Can I just clarify something, because this
Sure.
is coming up? This is always a free tool. So the
Yes.
additional thing that we're supporting here is they're making the add-on apps, is how I kind of like to think about them, of the computer algebra system and the advanced statistics. So, you know, Z-test, T-test, that's what we're talking about. But the rest of the tool is always free, but everything's free right now.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for clarifying, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing I want to dive into, because we're really focusing on like our hardware products, so like our scientific calculators, our graphing calculators. We always have emulator software. It is available for purchase, but right now, with everything going on, we are extending our trial version through August 31st. So if you click on this button here, it'll take you to our worldwide education website, and then it'll walk you through all the different options that we have. So we have all our scientific calculators available. So if you just go here to computer software, we do have some all our software is available on the Windows platform. We do have some software that's also available on the Mac platform, and I'll show you the differences. So for Windows, we have our upper level graphing calculators. So the CG500 is the one that is approved for testing in the US, so you would want to download that if you are interested. We also have the CG Manager Plus, which is the CG50. Remember, this is the newer brother, or the younger brother, I guess, of the previous CG10 model. These are both considered Prism models. So those are the two there. We also have the 9860 and the 9750 models. So it really helps if you look on this right side under the recording model to see which model you're looking for. We also have our 991EX. This one you would have to select from the drop down. So it's the very first option there, the 570/991EX. Apologize for that.
A question just came up. How do you know
Sure.
which one? I mean, that was a lot of calculators there in that list.
Yeah.
So how do you know?
One way to really find out, if you go back to the Casio Education website and you go under products, and I'm going to actually open this up as a separate.
Oh, well, but right there, there's a nice list, right?
But yeah, right here is a nice list. Or if you click on any of the graphing or the scientifics, this page will give you all the models that are approved for testing in the US. Mine is this. We'll have to remove that. Sorry.
So even though there's a ton others under those emulators,
Yes.
You want to make sure you're using the US approved one.
Correct. Yeah. So here's with the scientifics. Some of these scientifics we don't have software for, but for example, if I go back to that page, we all have recently launched an updated version of our ES Plus scientific calculators. So these are the different models here. This one is actually helpful because it's just the 300 and just the 115. So you can choose which model you are picking from. But if you just go back to our CasioEducation.com, it's good to know which ones you're choosing first from here before you click through.
And that looks like a lot of calculators, but if you notice, some of them are the same calculator, just different color.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And that kind of gives you an idea on pricing as well. So if you were interested in that or had a question about that. So, all right. So that's our emulator software. Let's go back to the first page as well. And like I said, when you download our emulator software, I'll just kind of give you a quick idea of what it looks like. Going to open mine up.
So they don't look exactly the same as the calculator.
They don't. They do for the most part, but it looks very similar. You'll see the same screen. So this is what it looks like here. You can actually change the size of the screen as well if it's a little too small for you and you have the screen space. And then we can pull this open here, so it's a little bit larger. But this is also a good way to capture screenshots. If you see when I right-clicked, I can capture the screen or copy the screen. If I capture the screen, it'll pop open a separate little screen. And then I can copy this and put it into like a Word document, and then, share as a PDF. And so this is a lot of the ways, or this is exactly how we create our activities using this software.
And this is great
for
the remote learning. You can be doing
Yes.
something on the emulator and students can be
Absolutely.
watching or following along.
Because we know that a lot of teachers previously, they had a handheld calculator and maybe had like a, video recorder. I called mine the Elmo when I was in the classroom, document camera. That's the word.
I think that still exists.
Yeah. So those document cameras. So now that we're not in the classroom and can't use that, this is a great tool. Like Karen says, as you're, doing these online digital classes, with your students, that you have this. So the software is free for you to download. And it'll be available for free through August 31st. After that, it starts, you will have to purchase it if you want to continue to use it. We do offer 1-year and 3-year licenses. So if you go here back to this, where you download the software, you see this Buy Now button next to each of this, underneath each of the software of the calculators, and that'll take you to a page where you can purchase the software and give you pricing for everything. Okay. All right. So that is our emulator software. So let's go back to our remote learning page here. And the next thing we have are our math activities. So we decided that we wanted to have activities available for all grades and everything that we have to offer. So if you see, we even have elementary activities. So if you click on the elementary button, it'll take you to a table of contents page. And these are all the activities we have ever created for the SL450S calculator. Unfortunately, we don't have software for this one, but these are just some fun activities. So for this calculator, we have an activity as well as like a teacher notes page, and then like some solutions and like buttons that the students would need to know to press. So we have those for each of our activities for the 450.
There's a quick question. So if you can go back to the table of contents.
Sure.
What if you want, is there a quick way to get to say something that you see at the bottom? So maybe I want to do estimating products on 55 instead of scrolling. Is there a way for me to?
Sure. So if I wanted to get to
quicker?
like the target practice activity.
Yeah.
So you have a couple options. This is a PDF, so you can download it to your computer and save it there. Or if you wanted to, if you just wanted to take a quick look at that activity first before you download. So target practice, which is estimating products, is on page 55. So if you kind of hover over the top, you see that there's a number 1 here. If you click on that and then just type in 55 and press enter on your computer, it'll help you jump quickly to that activity.
Thank you. That's nice. That's
good.
That's
nice because when we get into like the higher level calculators, the graphing calculators, those activities are definitely much longer. And so having to scroll through all those pages, I know, is a little bit tedious. So this is a quick way. So we have these available for the 450. I'm going to go back to this page. You'll see. This is also another elementary calculator, and we have them broken out by content level. So the 300 calculator here, the MS versions, are middle school, as well as the 300 ES Plus and the ES Plus 2. This is the updated model. When we get into like the 115 models, those are more high school level calculators, and then we also break them down. You could also use the 9750 G2s or graphing calculators with either middle school or high school. So just clicking on those buttons will take you to, if we open this up, this is going to take a little while because it's got so many pages. So it's got to load.
So this is the
CG
colored
10, the color graphing calculator. So the CG10 and the 50. So if you have the CG10, just kind of a reminder, that is the older brother of the CG50. And one of the neat things about Casio, for those of you that are current users, you know that all our functionality and all our buttons are always in the same place. So whether you're teaching with the CG50 in your classroom or you're teaching with the 9750 in your classroom, the kids are not going to have a difficult time, and you're not going to have to stop and re-explain and how to do something on the calculator. The buttons are exactly in the same spot.
Okay, so this question, a logical question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain, if they're the same buttons and menus, why are they different, like prices or different models? Like what's the difference?
So the CG10, so really we'll start with the 9750 G2. This one actually is a black and white calculator. So that's kind of one of the biggest differences between this CG50 and the 9750. Also, this 9750 G2 has a linear display. And when we say linear, it's really just a single line. So you won't see fractions with like a numerator, denominator, and the horizontal bar. Everything is on one line. Now, when we jump up to the 9860 G2, this calculator does have that vertical display. So you can kind of see in this image here, our fractions show up as 2 over 3. So when I say over, it really means there's a 2 on top of a 3, whereas if I were to put in a fraction on the 9750, it'd be side by side. The 9750 G3 is actually our newest model. And it kind of combines these two calculators, but we are able to keep the price down still, because
but then that one does have the.
But this one does. So
awesome.
we upgraded this one a little bit, so it has that what we call natural textbook display. So the fractions are 2 over 3 as well. So the biggest difference between this newer model and the CG50 is really just color versus black and white. And then when you get into the CG500 here, this is a computer algebra system calculator, so it has CAS. So that's why that one's a little bit pricier. So just kind of a quick overview of the differences.
And doesn't the CG50 have 3D graphing and things like that?
Yeah, the CG50 has 3D graphing. It's a limited version, and so the 500 has it as well. But we do have that new option. That's actually a new add-in app. Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So if I jump back to these activities, you'll see there are 14 pages of PDFs, but we made sure to try to put like a content focus next to each of the activities or investigations to kind of help you figure out what you're looking for. So as Karen says, or what we talked about earlier, if we wanted to, let's say, talk about data collection, tables, linear equations, systems of equations, and I wanted to look at this activity, it starts at page 295. So I just hover up here where I see the page numbers, type in 295, and it should take me directly to that activity.
Okay, so that is definitely helpful.
Yes, definitely very helpful.
Especially when you do 1,748.
I know. I know. Yeah. So those
which means we have a lot of activities, lots of support out there, people.
A lot of great activities, and not just So we have a ton of activities that we wanted to share. So those are activities, and then I just wanted to jump real quick to. I'm going to close out some of these tabs to some of our social media sites. One thing we have recently, we're going to start doing a little bit more of is Karen's been doing short videos with her blog that she's created, the blog posts that she's writing. And so we're starting to add more videos here for that. So this is our Casio Education YouTube page. And then we have our Facebook page. So I'm not logged into my account, but you can see that we have a bunch of posts here. We're also sharing, not now, our activities. No, it did not like that. But one other thing to note is under events, Karen mentioned that we are starting to do webinars, mentioned webinars. So we are starting to do those with both ClassPad or Casio Education and ClassPad.net. So you'll see these here and you'll start seeing posts about those webinars. So this is one spot you can go to on our events page to find out and learn more about
yeah, there you go.
the webinar, what some of the details, and then also a link to register for the webinar. So this webinar is going to be on linear equations, and it'll take place next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central.
And just a note, this one is actually using the CG50, the color calculator that you mentioned. So yes, for those of you interested in learning a little bit more about that.
Yeah. And then we also have our Twitter page, which we are in the process of updating as well. But you know, follow us there. You'll find out a lot about our webinars and about some different activities and our blog posts and everything there. So that's really all that I have left to cover. I'll talk about this real quick. If you're just getting started, or if you need a little quick refresher on how to use the calculator specifically, this is a great resource. These are our quick reference guides, or quick start guides. So we also like to call them. So if I just click on this, take a look at the CG50, it'll walk you through some, like the first page is always like the basic buttons, and this is the same for all the calculators. The basic buttons that you need to know in order to operate like a Casio calculator, specifically this one. And then we dive into the, you know, all the icons that we have since we are icon based. And then we dive into some of the more popular features. So like we'll take a look at run matrix, statistics, graph, and then I think conics and maybe table in this one.
I think table.
Yeah. And then just kind of walk you through some basic functionality with the buttons, with the screenshots. So very similar to our activities pages as well, to kind of help you get started. And then from there, you know, once you get started with our calculators, you can dive into the activities.
These are great resources too. You know, they're completely free. If you have students who have bought a calculator and like, I don't know how to work it, and they can look at this themselves, or parents who want to help their students. So it's a great resource because it really is sort of like a quick how-to on the most used functions, I would say.
Correct. Yeah. So, all right. That's about it. Karen, were there any other questions that I might have missed or that needed to be answered?
No, I think that's it for now.
All right. So I'm going to pop this page back up. I just want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Yeah.
So like as a reminder, be sure to download you know, the software, emulator software, if you're interested in using that as a tool and on your videos with your students. Follow us on social media for other additional webinars. We will be posting all our webinars that we do. We'll record all of those and post them on our YouTube site. Here are our other social media handles. And then if you have a specific question, whether about, you know, functionality or anything, email us at calctraining@casio.com. And we'll, you know, do our best to answer those as quickly as possible. Those are coming directly to me, actually. So I will, you know, be able to help you guys out specifically if there's something that, you know, we might have missed, or if you had a specific question on a product.
Right.
All right.
And just stay tuned. Every Thursday at the same time, 6:30 Eastern and 5:30 Central, we're going to be doing webinars. So next week is one on CG50, the color graphing calculator.
Yes.
So,
yep. All right. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll see you next time.
Yes.